I'm Harry Mays. The Eagles get a big win over the Detroit Lions, and they've finally found their identity as a team, and it's their defense.
I'm Jason Myrtetus, and the Eagles can push this tush to the top of the NFC.
You are Locked On Eagles Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Eagles Postcast as the Eagles get a win over the Detroit Lions. Tonight's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. It's Harry Mays, Jason Myrtetus, Locked On Louie from Locked On Eagles going to join us momentarily after he gets his Insta reaction done. Harry, what's your Insta reaction?
Well, my Insta reaction is this defense is playing some incredible football. I mean, they controlled the line of scrimmage tonight. That front, and it's just, I'm still trying to process it because these guys on that front don't come off the field.
No.
Those two tackles are out there practically the entire game, wreaking havoc, batting down balls, collapsing the pocket. They may not get sacks or a lot of numbers or TFLs and all this kind of stuff, but they just control the line of scrimmage. And Jared Goff was getting harassed and battered all night long. I mean, he was picking himself up off the turf, and he's one of those guys that if things aren't perfect around him, he has a tough time, especially outdoors in a windy environment. That was like a January game. And that's why when you're the Philadelphia Eagles, getting home field is such an advantage because you're generally going to be getting a West Coast team or a team from Florida or an indoor team coming to the link in late January and dealing with wind and weather like that. And it's a huge advantage. And Jeffrey Lurie wants to build a dome. I mean, me, it's just. I mean, that is such an advantage. When that wind was unbelievable today. I played 18 holes of golf in that today. It was 30 mile an hour, 40 mile an hour gusts.
Busting.
And it was like just brutal. I couldn't imagine trying to kick a football. You saw what happens, in the pregame when they were trying to do. Yep. They showed the kicks. And then the Detroit kicker had to kick the 48-yard extra point because of the stupid penalty from its wide receiver. And do you see that thing?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. So,
shanked to the right.
No, this defense is just unbelievable. I mean, when the front, the defensive backs are terrific. That's a good offense that they really contained tonight. I know Gibbs had a couple of big plays. St. Brown had like one. He didn't really do much of anything. And I guess Jameson Williams had two plays, one touchdown, 2 plays. But other than that, they really kept them in check, man. It was very impressive.
They made Jared Goff look like it's time to hang up the Spurs.
I know. I think he might have wanted to about midway through that fourth quarter. Yeah.
He was 2 for his last 18, Harry.
Yeah. At one point he was 9 incompletions in 10 throws.
That's unbelievable. Yeah. They just absolutely, I mean, Vic Fangio's scheme, with, like you said, with those 2 big guys in the middle, that is not a glorious position.
No.
Because you don't get those sacks around the edge and strip sacks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like Trent Cole or, some of the great rushers or sack artists in the league. They're just meat and potatoes in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And they wreak so much. Like Jordan Davis was great tonight.
He was great. He had 3 batted balls, and one led to the interception, which led to the first 3 points of the game. And Jalen Carter got himself 2. I mean, it was something to watch, I'll tell you.
Is there any truth to the rumor, Louie DiBiase joins us right now from Locked On Eagles, that when Cooper DeJean got that interception, that Farzetta just absolutely went streaking down Broad Street, climbing poles that were greased up?
I think so.
Probably, right? I mean, he's been waiting for that. I feel like every squad show he's calling for that.
Oh, my God.
We were waiting for the interception for a long time because he had the Super Bowl one, but that's his first regular season interception, if you can believe it.
Yeah.
No, it is unbelievable. Yeah, for sure.
Adoree Jackson must have had himself a pretty good night tonight, too.
Ooh.
I won't say anything for a week. I've been Adoree Jackson's biggest critic and Keely Ringo's biggest supporter, but Jackson came up big in 2 spots in the second half of a close game. 2 forcing completions on third down, 1 in the end zone. I think Adoree's actually been really good 2 weeks in a row. They kind of lit a fire under him, bringing in Jair Alexander before he retired, bringing in Michael Carter. Since then, Jackson's, I don't want to say he's been as good as Darius Slay was last year as your third corner, but he's been pretty strong the last 2 games. You have not been winning in spite of Jackson.
Yeah, he defended St. Brown, too, on one of those third
He did a really good job on St. Brown today.
On the right sideline.
Yep.
It looked like, I thought it was Quinyon Mitchell. He was in his hip.
Quinyon Mitchell, by the way, I think he's the best cornerback in the NFL right now. I'm going to make that argument. I could not believe the performance that he had again today, too. Yeah. When it comes to mirroring routes, I think he might be the best man coverage corner in football right now. I mean, what a performance from the entire secondary today.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got high expectations every week, and he just seems so chill. Like, he does not get mixed up in all the...
It's unreal.
Yeah, he is staggering how under control he is with his body.
And how about Nakobe Dean running with guys like Gibbs and Jamison Williams in coverage?
I wish
stride for stride with those guys.
I wish there was a way he's an Eagle long term, but I just think he's going to get a massive contract from somebody in free agency this year. And the Eagles are going to be at a ceiling with him because they have Jahad Campbell and Zach Bond in house long term. But man, is he so important to this defense. I mean, his blitzing ability and that coverage rep against Jameson Williams on the final drive. I mean, to pick up that route he's been so good this last month. Coming off a serious injury, too. Yeah, he's going to get paid by somebody. I don't think it'll be in Philly, unfortunately, but he is so underrated for this defense.
You know, we talked about this I think on one of our midweek squad shows, that, you know, some of the guys coming back are going to be fresh because they missed all that time in the beginning of the year. And, you know, they basically started their season at the bye week. And Nakobe Dean's one of those guys, and he looks fresh as they can be.
I might make the argument right now, the Eagles' 2025 defense, the way they've played the last 2 games to shut down 2 really good NFC powerhouses. And early on in the year, they did the same with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They beat the LA Rams. They look as good as the 2024 defense did, if not better. I think
better.
Yeah,
the 2 guys the 2 big losses from last year's roster, right, I would say are Josh Sweat and Milton Williams. Yeah. Joma wrecked that ball game today. I think he's been better this year than Milton Williams was last year. And Jalen Phillips through 2 games is an upgrade of what you had in Josh Sweat last year outside of the Super Bowl. So, and considering the steps all the other young guys have taken, this might be the best defense in football. At least this past month, I mean, they've been that. They are carrying this football team, which is infuriating but exciting at the same time.
I got to put Denver's defense up there, too. They're pretty darn
Denver's
good.
unbelievable. I think it's those 2 at this point. Yeah, absolutely.
The thing is, too, with the defense this year, that it's magnified because they have to be really good.
They have to.
Of these games.
And isn't it frustrating when there's like $1 billion invested in this offense? I mean, I don't know how to feel about it. I'm like excited and angry at the same time.
Well, that's because we require style points to win now.
Right.
When you've been at the top of the mountain and you've been good for a long time, now it's not enough to win anymore. You gotta make it look good too. It's got to be sexy.
Well, at least they got the ball to AJ Brown tonight. I mean, how many? What do you have? 11 targets or something?
For like 50 yards, I think. Devontae Smith wasn't involved at all. So
no, not really.
Not sure if that's the smart plan moving forward. That's Kevin Patullo. It just feels like whenever he has a fix. I don't know. I think I don't know what the fix is to this offense for the remainder of the season. Is Nick Sirianni going to be an upgrade as a play caller? Probably not. Can this offensive line get healthy enough for the playoff run? They're so banged up front. Tonight. Cam Jurgens, you might have to just shut him down for a bit. I mean, and Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson's starting to look like Jason Peters, where every single game he's limping off the field halfway through the second quarter. He's still the best tackle in football when he plays, but I'm getting nervous that drop-off is here from a health perspective.
Yeah, you could be right. That could be it.
Think about this, what they've done so far. They went into Kansas City and won. Mm-hmm. They beat the Rams at home. They beat Tampa in Tampa, and it was 188 degrees. Mm-hmm. They beat Minnesota in Minnesota. The Giants, obviously, they beat at home. Beat Green Bay at Lambeau. And now tonight they beat Detroit at home. I mean, they've played some really good teams.
Yeah. It's a loaded first-place schedule.
And how many points did they give up in the last 2 weeks?
Last 2?
Yeah, the last 2 weeks.
What was 13 today? No.
It was 9.
9. Oh,
it was 9.
16 points.
So 16 points in 2 weeks against
in 2 weeks.
2 of the top 5 teams, you'd say, in the conference, or top 6?
Top 6, easy. Yeah. Top
Green Bay
6.
maybe like 6.
Considering the circus that's been surrounding this team, it's unbelievable how they do this.
It really is.
Time and time again. And they, I don't want to say they have the 1 seed locked up, but like Jason just said, they have the tiebreaker over pretty much everybody except for Seattle, who they're not going to play this year.
They lost today.
Right, and they lost to the Rams, which helps the Eagles based on the tiebreaker, the head-to-head. If you just don't collapse down the stretch, and I don't see that with how good this defense is playing, you have the 1 seed. I mean, this was like the game you had to have now, and I mean, you look set. What a huge win.
I think I said this at the beginning, Lou. You weren't on yet. I said the Eagles have found their identity, and it's their defense.
It is.
And really, I think over these past 2 weeks, it's kind of crystallized that this team is just don't turn the ball over on offense, lean on your defense, run the football, and every now and then somebody at the wideout position is going to make a big play, and that's pretty much it.
I agree. Unfortunately, that's just the reality of this football team based on the inconsistencies of the quarterback, the situation they have as at offensive coordinator, which I don't think is going to get better this year. The offensive line health. It stinks, though, because with all of that being said, you still have so much talent on this offense. Prime, proven players that are paid top 5 money at their position. But you are right. I just think that's the reality we almost have to just come to accept now, because is there a fix with this offense? You're going to have more splash games. I guess you just got to hope that those big-time games come when it really matters. But
at the right time.
It stinks because, again, the offense is where all the paid veterans are, and the defense is the youngest in football. But Harry's right. The identity is this is probably the best defense in the NFL right now, and the offense is extremely inconsistent.
I mean, I think you can win that way, win enough games to have home field advantage. And like tonight seemed like a playoff game in January with the weather. It was a huge weather advantage, I felt, for the Eagles because you had a dome quarterback with not the strongest of arms. He first of all, he's getting beat up, but he looked really shaky in that environment last.
He looked overwhelmed.
Tonight. He really did.
Yeah. They were relentless on him.
Yeah,
and he could not get into any rhythm, and it was unbelievable. From batting, I would imagine for a quarterback, getting multiple passes batted down is like the worst feeling in the world.
Oh, he was terrified. I mean, that's what we said on the squad show during the week is when you're not a mobile quarterback, pressure from the interior is your worst nightmare. And it wasn't just Carter, Jordan Davis, Moro Ujoma, the stunts from Jalen Phillips, Nakobe Dean blitzing. He was terrified. You guys are right. Like he was terrified to step into any throw, even when there wasn't pressure there. Right. He was feeling it.
He kind of is seeing ghosts or hearing ghosts or something.
That's why mobile quarterbacks are, I think, so important in the NFL nowadays. I mean, there's pocket passers that are better against pressure than Goff. Goff naturally, historically, is not good against pressure, but that's kind of the bugaboo with having that style of player. And the Eagles, they knew it, and they completely wrecked the game up front.
Because there were plays to be made from a receiver perspective. Guys were open.
Yeah, Jameson Williams was getting open over the middle. It felt like almost every play.
Yeah,
and that doesn't portend well for the playoffs either, because when you're going to go outside and play in weather, if the Eagles have home field and you have a quarterback like Hurts who can run the ball, I mean, that's where the advantage comes from with his mobility and his power. Tush Push wasn't very good tonight, but we'll get to that coming up. Let's talk about A.J. Brown real quick before we take our first time out. Because he obviously had I heard Sal Powell's report, and I think John Clark broke the story that A.J. Brown and Jeff Lurie met on the sideline. Big Dom brought him over, gave him over here. I'm over here now. And they went over. They had like a 10-minute chat, and they hugged it out at the end. And it was, let's chill out on the social media, blah, blah, blah. And Jeff Lurie doesn't get involved publicly very often. I imagine he does sometimes behind the scenes. And we remember DeMarco Murray. Didn't he talk to Lurie on the plane?
Yeah, he sat next to him on the plane.
Yeah, he's in the jump seat. But all of a sudden, that happens, and A.J. Brown gets 11 or 12 targets in this game. Is that coincidence? Am I led to believe that's coincidence? Or did Jeff Lurie come in and say, get this guy involved?
I don't think Jeff Lurie had anything to do with what we saw tonight. No, I don't. I think they were intending on getting AJ involved from an offensive standpoint, regardless of a meeting with Jeffrey Lurie.
The coaches do this every time AJ Brown does something. I mean, they did this in the first half against the Denver Broncos this year too. They did it last year against the Pittsburgh Steelers when there was all the Brown Hurts drama. So yeah, I think this is naturally what the coaches do to make him happy. I didn't mind the game plan. I liked being more aggressive today and giving him opportunities even when he wasn't wide open to make plays. I just thought they went too far in that direction where now your all-pro receiver who's having a career year in Devontae Smith is nowhere to be seen. And yeah, he had 2 drops early in the first half, but for him to now be a non-factor and only target Brown, it's just Patullo he gets so
hyper-focused.
He gets hyper-focused, like tunnel vision on just one thing, and then that's all he does, and he doesn't have a counter to it, and that's, again, the issue. But, again, I don't know if there's a fix to that this season.
Yeah, the quarterback wasn't very good tonight, though, either.
But that wind, I don't know that anybody
He was very inaccurate, yeah.
I'm sure the wind had a lot to do with it. Yeah.
I just think he's not a great passer in cold weather because this was the situation against Green Bay. You saw this in the playoffs last year against the Packers and the Rams. He doesn't have a massive arm, so I just think naturally he's also just not very strong as a thrower in these kind of matchups.
He sailed a couple
to it. He needed to be better for sure.
Yeah.
So Goddard ends up with 2 catches. Devontae Smith 1 catch, 8 yards on 5 targets. 11 targets all said and done for A.J. Brown. 7 catches for 49 yards, an average of 7 per. Saquon with 1 catch. Kyle Granson. Did you have that on your bingo card, huh?
Yeah.
Kyle Granson with 2 targets and a catch. And Jalen Hurts, 14 of 28 for 135, only a 4.8 average, and only sacked 1 time in the game. No turnovers. Again, that's the key.
I guess that's the key.
They had 1 fumble, but they recovered themselves on a
no fumble
trend.
Lost.
Yeah.
This way of winning works. They don't need to win this way. That's what's frustrating. This way works. They don't have to make it this close, though, every single game. They always find a way because they are very clutch on offense. They're so elite on defense, but they have the talent to put teams away, and that's why it's hard for me to accept it. Even though you are right, it is their identity. Yeah. It's frustrating because it doesn't need to be. Yeah. But
why does it take A.J. Brown to get upset and at non-usage for them to go to him? I don't get. It's not like this guy's 33 and cooked. He's 28 in his prime. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it. But
I will say, I don't know if you guys noticed, but he doesn't. I don't know if he's injured still. The hamstring has been kind of holding him back all year, but he does not separate. And A.J. Brown's never been the separator that, Devontae Smith has been, like that kind of route runner, short area explosiveness at the line of scrimmage, but he doesn't run well right now. Like, he is not moving very quick, even for a bigger body. Yeah. And I know he kind of gave up on that deep ball in the third quarter, but even some of those other routes, like, he's kind of pushing off on almost every play, including that last pass interference.
Yeah,
I thought he got away with
that. Was a bad one. That was a bad one. Like, Rock Ya-Sin did not pass interference.
I don't think he's at 100% health. I don't think he suddenly just dropped off when it comes to his speed and agility. I think it's the hamstring. So to force feed him moving forward might not be the best thing. I don't know.
No, I think they just did it tonight to shut him up.
I agree.
Yeah. So essentially, it's just to pacify him. It's not because it's the best thing to do for the team.
Well, I mean, getting him the ball is good for the team. I mean, you can't.
But why don't they don't seem to realize that? They only got to, the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Yeah.
Like he's got to be a drama, create all this stuff going on just to be targeted. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And for them not to use both guys, look, Barkley ended up running for 75 yards. I think it was 3 yards a carry. The running game's not what it was, and I don't think it's going to be what it was because the offensive line's not going to be what it was. So you have to become a better passing team, even though that's not the strength.
And some of that's on the quarterback.
Yeah. Totally.
I mean, really, there's plays to be made, and he was not sharp tonight. I know the wind had something to do with it, I guarantee it, but he was not sharp tonight.
Yeah.
I think it's how they're using A.J. Brown. The intermediate, I do like today that they emphasize getting him involved more. They used him in the slot more than they have in recent weeks, which I thought was good. Pre-snap motion.
Move him around, yep.
I like that they were aggressive on 3rd and long. Like, they did force the ball down the field. The problem is, again, with this offense is it's very all or nothing. It's a streak to A.J. Brown. It's an improv scramble by Jalen Hurts, or it's a running back draw up the middle. And there's no other answers. Like, why is it always this very conservative play or this ultra aggressive play when there's this giant middle ground, this intermediate passing area that they never utilize? And a lot of that is, like Harry said, it's on the quarterback. Jalen does not like to throw over the middle of the field.
No.
But if I'm the play caller, I'm trying to make plays that emphasize that. Like, hey, you need to use the middle of the field. You have the weapons to do it. If the run game is not going to get back to what it was last year at some point, they need to find easy yards still in some way. It can't always be all or nothing unless the defense is going to bail you out every week. And for me, that is the intermediate passing game. That's what they need to focus on more than anything right now.
I'm trying to find the comment. Somebody in the comments said it looks like Saquon Barkley's ready to bust out. Do you feel like he's ready to bust out?
I did think in the second half there were a couple plays. He was like one broken tackle away from taking it. Yeah, I like that. That's a good comment. I agree.
Yeah. Jalen had some designed runs tonight too, which I thought was good.
I did like that.
They're using a more north-south, which I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can get some first downs that way too when the defense is sagged off. Let's take our first time out. We'll come back and we'll talk about this defense. Can this defense be ridden to the Super Bowl? We'll talk about that and more. It is Locked On Eagles Squad Show as the Eagles get a 16-9 victory over the Detroit Lions. Right here, we're back after this. All right, let me tell you about Mint Mobile. Well, you paying too much for your cell phone, your wireless? It's time to say yes to saying nope. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. I said yes to making the switch. My phone died, and I needed a new one. So get premium wireless. How about this? Only $15 a month. Now, Mint makes it simple. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. And you can even bring your own phone and keep your same number in contact. So you don't want to change your number. Well, maybe you do. Now you're getting the same quality service you had before, but for a fraction of the price. Where's the reason not to do this? The setup's super easy. You keep your number, and then you're running in minutes. Ready to say yes to saying no? Well, make the switch at mintmobile.com/LockedOnNFL. That's mintmobile.com/LockedOnNFL. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 per month. Limited time new customer offer for the first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on the unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for all the details. All right, let's talk defense. This team is kind of a bit of a throwback to the days when you said offense wins games and defense wins championships. That John Facenda.
Yeah.
Harry, is the defense good enough to carry the question marks of the offense all the way?
Yeah, I think they are. I think, if they can run the ball, they're never going to run it, probably not like they did last year because the offensive line is so banged up. But if they can just have a middling run game, the quarterback get involved in the run game like he did in a few plays tonight, they're going to have some games where the wide outs are going to get loose and Jalen will have some big games. But by and large, they can lean on this defense, I believe, and get home field advantage, and that will get them to the Super Bowl. That was a playoff game tonight. It was exactly the way a playoff game plays out. And if you win a playoff game 16-9, you're not bitching and moaning about style points.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
That's how you won your first two playoff games last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
you take it.
There will come a time that you have to score more than 16 points, right? You can't just rely on that, I think, every single week.
Maybe
I think
against
this
the
defense
Rams. If the Rams come in here again, maybe them.
I think this defense can carry you the majority of the time. But A.J. Brown did say it best last week. Like, it is a Band-Aid. Eventually, the offense has to carry its weight. Like, and I don't even mean for 4 quarters they dominate and put up 30-plus points. But how about we start with just that final drive? You just close it out instead of a terrible penalty by Cooper on the tush push. And then the next drive, it's a false start on a 3rd down that – you get that pass interference call, but without that, a 3rd and 3 turns into a 3rd and 8, and then the Lions might get the ball back with over a minute and a half, and they need to score a touchdown to tie the game, but they have a chance.
Right.
So I think you're right. Like, the identity, this defense, the Jalen Phillips trade was the missing piece. They are ready to be the number 1 defense in football again with the way everything else is coming together, but the offense has to at least find one strength. Like, the run game and the passing game can't be this inconsistent. One of those units have to find some sort of consistency for me to feel like, okay, they can still win a Super Bowl. They can win a Super Bowl, but be the favorites to win the Super Bowl.
I need them to be good on 3 drives in the game. Their opening offensive drive, their first drive out of halftime, and the final drive to put a game away.
Yeah.
And I think the defense does the rest.
I just saw a comment here. 1 touchdown per quarter might be a good start. Like, yeah, I mean,
I thought
more than 1 touchdown a game. I mean,
I thought that's what they were going to need tonight to win this game, but the wind kind of showed up and really, sort of handicapped both offenses to a certain degree. But I thought they'd need 27 to 30 to win tonight.
That's why home field advantage is so important. Because what if you do have to go inside Detroit?
Right.
Like, what if you got to go inside that building against that star-studded offense?
That's why I don't want a dome.
Yeah.
For nights like tonight.
That's a fair point.
You know what I mean?
That definitely was home field advantage against Goff for sure.
Absolutely.
If Jeffrey Lurie opts for a dome, we're going to have to find some way to veto that.
Yeah, right.
We got to shoot that down.
Yeah.
Can it be at least retractable so you have the option?
Well, that would be good.
The Philadelphia fan base is not built for a dome. That's too comfortable. I mean, we were in the vet with those plastic seats and just awful, right?
Well, that stadium up in Buffalo they're building, is that a retractable roof?
Nope.
It's a full dome?
No, it's no roof at all.
Oh, none at all.
No,
good.
That's a huge advantage for Buffalo.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I mean, you take they should be outlawed, domes.
What a take.
If Lambeau doesn't have a dome, nobody should have a dome.
I'm sure corporate America's going to love a Super Bowl in a blizzard in Cleveland, Ohio.
Well, don't book it in Cleveland. Book it in Pasadena.
Well, I wouldn't.
That's a fair point.
You may need a dome out in Arizona. Yeah.
In the desert, you might.
Yeah. Especially with those September games where it's still blazing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know there's going to be a lot of complaints
Dryer,
about the offense this week. But I do feel like this team, I feel like the city of Philadelphia will really embrace the way they're winning. Like, I don't know. I feel like they
love defense.
Yeah. I mean, with how good this defense is right now, I think there is a big chunk of the fan base that probably, even though they're going to complain about the offense, is quietly enjoying this with the way they're winning.
Yeah, I would agree. But
I've always been more of a fan of defense than offense.
I mean, I'm in that boat too. As long as you're winning with your offense, but you're winning in spite of it right now, and that's again, it's probably just because of the way their offense is built. It would be easier to stomach if I didn't just see all these elite weapons that you've won championships with all over the field, and that's the tough part.
They had 7 quarterback hits according to this stat sheet. Only 2 sacks, but 3 tackles for losses and 10 passes defended.
Yeah,
10.
And they were, I think the Lions were 0-4 on 4th down.
They gave
0-4?
They gave up the ball, I think 5 times.
5 times, yeah.
0-5, yeah. Eagles were 5.
And a lot of those were like 4th and short, or they were in the red zone. I mean, that defense, Jalen Carter, the last 3 games has been unbelievable. They needed this kind of Jalen Carter to get going.
Yep.
Well, let's talk about those 2 guys, Carter and in the middle of that Davis in the middle of that defensive line, they were unreal in the game.
And
Jomo
too.
Yeah, and Jomo. They just collapsed everything. I think that's what caused Goff all the problems.
Yeah. I agree.
The interior pressure was unbelievable. And I think the edge rushers too. It wasn't just Jalen Phillips. I thought Jalix Hunt was really good today. And Brandon Graham made a couple nice plays getting into the backfield. They're not even using Josh Uche anymore, who I thought was one of your more underrated players the first half of the season, right?
Yeah.
So
and Ojulari, you never see him anymore.
Ojulari's done. He's done. So you are very deep on the defensive line. That, again, it was something that you were able to win with during the first half of the season, but now it's a clear strength like it was in 2024. That's why I think they're on par with last year's defense now, because Jalen Phillips now is that Josh Sweat you were kind of missing, and he might be better, again, like I said, than Josh Sweat, the regular season version from last year. I mean, I think Phillips has like 10 pressures in 2 games with the Eagles.
Yeah, he looks like he's been here for 2 years. He just fits right in.
And he plays the whole game.
How concerned are we about 4 for 15 on 3rd down again? Like they're the worst 3rd down team in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge concern.
Jalen's too hesitant in against zone coverage, and
he really clams up on 3rd down though.
Again, it's either it's a deep ball to A.J. Brown, or it feels like it's a running back draw to Will Shipley, and there's no middle ground. So, again, until you learn to utilize the middle of the field and you throw into tight windows, which, yes, could lead to an interception, that's okay.
Right.
Like, it's okay to try to do that sometimes. Until they do that, they are going to be inconsistent. They'll still hit some of those moon balls down the field. You'll still see Tank Bigsby hit a 15-yard run on 2nd and 13, but that the hit rate of that's always going to be more inconsistent. So I don't know what the fix is. I don't know if there is one.
It's weird coming off last year where everything was like almost perfect. Mm-hmm. And then you come into this year and it's so much of the same personnel and you're scratching your head. I just don't know if it's all Patula or what the hell it is. But yeah, I mean, if the season ended today, he would not be back as my offensive coordinator.
Good luck getting Sirianni to fire that guy next year. I think
I know.
What Press Taylor was to Doug Peterson. Kevin Patullo is to Nick Sirianni. Jeffrey Lurie is going to have to force him to fire Patullo.
I mean, and how do you do that if you're Lurie? I mean, with the record that Sirianni has, he deserves a little latitude.
That was the struggle that happened in 2020. Doug was like, you're not picking my staff anymore. I'm done.
And let him
he got
fired.
So that could lead to a conflict. It could.
Yeah, I just don't know how you come back with this guy.
There's a lot of games to win before that happens.
No, I agree. They're 8-2. That's the challenging part about this is the conflict of they're beating all these incredible teams, but the way they're doing it, you just keep questioning, is it sustainable?
Well, let's answer that question when we come back. Let's take our second time out, and we'll talk about the sustainability of what they've done through 10 games to get to 8-2. We just rattled off the teams they played. We'll talk about that and talk about how sustainable it'll be for the Eagles in the final 7 games of the season. We can't believe we're 10 games in. Let's take our time out. We're back after this on the Locked On Eagles Squad Show.
The Locked On Eagles Squad podcast is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a much bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team is making that late push. We'll see if the 76ers do that this year. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com and sign up to play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA.
All right, let's talk about if this Eagles team, what they've done, 8-2 through 10 games with a first-place schedule, a murderer's row. Is it, I feel weird even asking the question, is it sustainable? All they've done in the last 2 years is win-win-win.
Yeah, I mean, they don't lose.
No.
I mean,
so I guess the answer is yes.
They're 4.5-point favorites on the road next week at Dallas. Then you'll have Caleb Williams and the upstart Bears that I know the national media is salivating over the return of the Chicago Bears. I think they're a fraud. They're coming in here on a Friday afternoon, home game, and then what? Then they go to L.A. for the Charger game?
Yep.
Against Herbert. Okay, that's a quarterback that can get the ball down the field.
It's a Monday night.
Is it Monday night?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
Chargers is Monday night. Yeah.
Okay.
Ah,
well, the YouTube TV Disney thing is over, so we don't have to worry about it.
Got to cancel that Fubo free trial
by
tomorrow.
I already did.
I did.
You do that right after the show?
I already got it done.
Yeah, I already did it. But then, I mean, you got Washington. They're an absolute mess right now. Twice before the end of the season. Who else you got? The Raiders. They stink. Mm-hmm. It's totally sustainable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when you look at that schedule, it seems that way.
And I don't even want to say in the playoffs it's not sustainable because look how inconsistent offenses are across the league right now. And with the weather probably not being great, if you have home field advantage, like look at the first 2 games of the playoffs last year. Really defensive, grinded out games against Green Bay and LA. So I guess it is sustainable. You just know there's going to come a game or two where they need more from their offense. I just think this offense, they have shown in the past that they are pretty Jekyll and Hyde, and they are capable of having those big games when they need to. So I'm just going to trust that when push comes to shove and they have to have it, that'll be the game they have it, because normally that's the way it works out. Yeah. It's just, though, when game after game continues of the same issues, it does get concerning, because even last year at some point, the passing game did explode against Pittsburgh. The run game was good all year long. This year, there's been a couple big games of throwing the football, but there hasn't been one consistent part of the offense at all. And that's why it's a little more concerning this year compared to last year. Last year, you always had the run game. The passing game was coming in spots. This year, everything is only coming in spots.
And there's really only one home run so far for Saquon.
Yeah. Right. He has 2 runs this year of 20-plus yards.
Yeah, which is unbelievable.
Last year he had 17 total. So.
And he had one last week that got called back. But, you're right. It's like, he's, 50, 60 yards a game, typically.
And unfortunately, this
100-yard game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100-yard game against the Giants. Yep. This offensive line's not healthy enough to do what they do best, which is get up to that second and third level and take on moving guys. And they tried a couple today, even the first half. They did a moving screen. A swing screen to Brown. They tried another one to the running back, and no one could tag anybody because Cam Jurgens just couldn't get there fast enough. Tyler Steen wasn't getting there in time. Fred Johnson's not Lane Johnson as an athlete, so
Detroit's defense is pretty good too.
They are good.
They did a pretty nice job.
Yeah, I'll give them credit.
Yeah,
the Eagles have 9 rushing touchdowns this year and 16 passing touchdowns this year. Yeah. 9. That's on the low end in the league. Like the Bills have 19 rushing touchdowns. The Colts have 22.
Yeah, and how many of those are Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
6 of them right now are.
Is it 6?
Yeah.
6 of the
only
9.
3 rushing touchdowns outside of Jalen Hurts. That's incredible when you consider Barkley's there.
It is.
The tush push tonight.
Yeah.
Not successful.
Well, I think not entirely surprising.
Detroit got away with that ridiculous penalty, though. I'm sorry. I mean, that was a neutral zone infraction. But
what, the one they called on Steen?
With the hand movement? I mean, the Lions, the player's hand was over the line.
Yeah,
Steen moved as a result.
Halfway up the ball.
Yeah,
they're going to continue to screw this up.
They're doing it on purpose.
They're doing it on purpose.
100%.
Yes.
And they've been dying to call a penalty on the Eagles with the tush push. I think the Eagles have almost been not using the push on purpose because they know that's coming. Mm-hmm. And maybe they want to try to save the play for next year. That's why they did that stupid fullback dive kind of thing with Saquon Barkley lining up behind the left guard. Just because they got too cute with it, but I think they're trying to save it for certain spots because they know they're going to get penalized for it right now, and they don't want to lose the play. So
I saw Buffalo do it today.
Yeah,
and they scored.
Josh Allen got chucked into the end zone. Nobody has a problem with it when anybody else does it.
Right.
Steelers did it today too, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you never hear anything. Nothing about false starts. I'm sure everybody lined up.
They just call it a QB sneak when they do it.
Right.
Which is basically what it is.
By the way, I've also seen a lot of touchdowns the past 2 weeks where running backs are getting pushed into the end zone. Mm-hmm. Are those plays just not going to be allowed when we ban the push next year?
I would hope not.
How are you going to enforce this?
Wasn't that the case for some period of time where you couldn't push your player forward?
You couldn't do that.
Yeah. I thought it was that way I don't know why it changed. What did you think of the 4th down call with the ball in the 31-yard line? Like, what are we doing here?
Late
after.
Yeah. No,
2 weeks in a row.
They're down by a touchdown. Like Goff has been a total gong show, like Jordan Love was.
Punt the ball.
And Sirianni, I know he's going to get up at his press conference and all this stuff. And say,
I
believe in my guys.
I trust in my guys.
Yep. Yeah. Enough of this crap already.
I know.
It's going to end up costing him at a really inopportune time.
Well, that's possible.
I do love the mentality of going for the kill. And 2 tush pushes when it's 3rd and 1 normally works that hit rate's like 98, 99% of the time. So you get that and the game's over. So I get the logic. I'm not as passionate about that call as last week. Line? But no, I'm with you. It wouldn't have been as clear and obvious to me as last week's decision to punt the ball, but I still would have punted. There's 3 minutes to go, and the way your defense was playing, make them drive the whole length of the field. And by that time, you killed so much clock that, I agree. That was a ballsy call for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason they had to punt it was because Cooper had a false start.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
To me, that was the one earlier. And then the one at the end of the game, they went for it and didn't get it. And the Lions get the ball, and they're just about in the red zone.
Oh, is that when they kicked the field goal to make it 16-9?
Yeah.
Is that develop? Okay.
Yep.
And that gets them right there within a touchdown in the game.
Right. It was at the 30-yard line. It was at the 30-yard
line.
Yeah.
You don't go for it on 3rd. You go for it on 3rd. You don't get it. You don't go for it again on 4th at the 30-yard line when the quarterback's 2 for his last 18.
I knew we were going to see a whole lot of crazy 4th down decisions with both these coaches tonight. They're kind of mirror images of one another when it comes to being aggressive.
Like trying to out-aggressive the other guy.
It really is crazy. Yeah.
Detroit's a little crazier, though. The fake punt was definitely interesting from that spot.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Campbell's taking over play calling duties, though, so now he gets full responsibility and blame for it. Whereas Sirianni, it's still like, when's he making the decision? When is it Patullo? He's a direct extension of Sirianni, but it's
not
still hard to
Campbell's
kind
best
of tell.
night tonight. I can tell you that.
No, it was not.
You realized you weren't going up against Washington's defense,
right?
Yeah.
Vic Fangio is strategizing against you, and again, Fangio he has his unit ready to go every week.
Yep. His
preparation. I mean, they're calling out plays last week. Tonight, Nakobe Dean was did you see him throw that running back on that? I mean, he just.
Oh no, Montgomery. He just barrel at. I mean, he just bulldozed him. And that guy's 240 pounds, 235 pounds. Yeah.
I said on the show last week I wanted Jahad Campbell featured over him. I take that back. Nakobe right now looks like an all-pro player. Yeah. He's got to be. He's the starter moving forward.
Yeah, because we'd always said, he's better against the run and Campbell's better against the pass. Watching Nakobe Dean running with some of these speedsters tonight was
Jameson
really
Williams
impressive.
is one of the fastest players in the world, and he went toe-to-toe with him on that sideline route on the final drive. Yeah,
Unbelievable
Nakobe's been incredible.
First of all, to read it, to know, to get in coverage there is the big thing too. And he was so decisive on it, and then he stays with him. You're going, look at this guy.
Yeah.
Who the hell is this guy?
How about Jake Elliott tonight in tough conditions? Looked pretty impressive.
Ice in his veins, Harry.
Yeah. 3
for 3. I
feel
like it's 2023 again when we have got to hype up the kicker.
But I'm saying last year we were a little concerned.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
I just wish they didn't need him as often as they've had to this season.
But him showing he can kick in this is a huge deal.
Yeah, you're wishing he's kicking extra points.
I wish I didn't see him out there as much. But.
So he went 3 for 3 with a long of 49.
49.
And there's not a leaf on a tree anymore because of this wind down here.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like Buffalo off the lake.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, trust me, I know. Yeah. I think that's part of why, too, Jalen was inaccurate today. But a lot of it, too, was just they were forcing the football down the field. But yeah, that wind looked brutal. So that was a big game from Elliott.
Yeah. I played golf in it today, Louie. 18 holes in that wind.
I would have been slicing that every drive. Oh my gosh.
I'll tell you.
Did it seem like every shot, Harry, was into the wind?
Into the wind. Everything was into the wind. Yeah.
123 out. You're usually pulling wedge. You're pulling out 7 irons.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happened. Yeah.
How'd you score though?
I made a couple of par net birdies.
Nice.
$160.
You got a little sun too.
Yeah, I always get a little sun.
Yeah, you do get a little sun.
Yeah.
So with the Eagles now coming up, what time is next week's game?
It's a 4:25.
Okay, and you got Dallas next week.
Yep.
Is there any team on this? You look at this remaining schedule, and you went through it, Harry. Is there one where you go, there could be a hiccup here? I mean, the really big game left is the Chicago game. They're only a game back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one maybe.
But that's at home on Black Friday.
Yeah, I think they've – who have they beaten? The Bears.
The Bears?
Yeah.
Let me look.
They just beat Minnesota.
Yeah.
Houston.
Minnesota
week
stinks.
1, too.
Minnesota
They lost in Minnesota week 1. Sorry.
Yeah, they just beat Minnesota today.
They lost in Detroit in week 2, 52-21.
Yeah.
They've been winning weird games, it feels like, every
have.
week. They remind me of the 2022 Giants, where they're just really good in one-score games in the fourth quarter.
Or last year's Commanders.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think next week might be that with the Dallas, the way they can score points, and Dak Prescott tends to have – I mean, it wasn't week 1 this year. He didn't really dominate, but Dak has a good track record against the Eagles. It's a divisional opponent.
They'll be
next
on a short
could
week.
Be that. Short
Dallas
week.
will be on a short week.
Yeah. 2 primetime games in a row against really good NFC opponents. The Eagles normally don't run into those kind of trap games, those come down games. Feels like they tend to be ready to go for each one, but if I had to pick one, it's probably that. But the gauntlet of their schedule is behind them now. I mean, they've passed every test that they've gotten thrown at them. I mean, there are only 2 losses. Denver looks legit at 9-2.
They're legit.
Yeah, and then that weird Giants Thursday night game. But every huge game they had to have in this conference, they've gotten it.
Yeah, they've taken care of business against the NFC. Yeah, I'm looking at Chicago's schedule here. Now, they lost to Minnesota and Detroit to start the year. Then they beat Dallas, the Raiders, who stink, Washington stinks. The Saints stink.
Yep.
They won all those games. Then they lost to Baltimore and beat Cincinnati, who didn't have Burrow. They beat the Giants, who are not very good, and they beat Minnesota again. So they've beaten a lot of subpar teams.
Well, they have Pittsburgh next week, too.
Yeah, they do. The Bears
at home.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Bills game is obviously the biggest challenge left.
Yes.
But any sort of trap game, I would say, is probably next week against Dallas.
Now, will Locked On Louie be at the Eagle-Bill game?
I will be in attendance for that one, yes.
Wow.
It'll be the last time the Eagles play at that dump of a stadium in Orchard Park, New York.
Right.
Still Rich Stadium?
No, it's had 500 different names.
It's a different name.
New Era, I think? Or Highmark.
Highmark
It's Highmark.
Stadium?
Yeah, it's Highmark Stadium right now.
Hopefully that game, it's an AFC team, so it will hurt less if you lose it.
And could they have the 1 seed wrapped up at that? They might have everything wrapped up by that point.
Because of the tiebreakers.
Yeah.
Like
based on the tiebreakers. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and there's a big one next week in the NFC. The Buccaneers and the Rams play next week.
And the Bills helped out the Eagles today, beating Tampa on that shootout. So that was really important.
Where's that game at, Harry? The Buccaneer-Ram game? Is that in Tampa?
Let me check. It's the Sunday night game next week.
Oh.
So.
And it is it's in L.A.
Okay.
So Sunday Night Football in L.A. next week.
Okay.
And that's going to split those two teams.
Right.
And the Rams are tied with the Eagles right now, but the Eagles have the tiebreaker. They have the tiebreaker over everybody.
They do. Yeah.
That's why I hate to just say just win no matter what. That's all that matters. Because, again, you want to win in a certain way in more convincing fashion on both sides of the ball. But just winning is really important against these opponents right now. So it's a very, conflicting feeling going back and forth with it.
You just like to feel a little better about your passing game.
Yeah.
That's it. It's really it.
Just because you know what you're capable of. So that's the frustration. And the team themselves talk about this too. I mean, Jalen last year and in 2023, time and time again would talk about the standard versus winning being what matters most, and trying to find that balance of, striving to be better, but at the same time,
managing.
Getting that you can't be miserable when you're winning. 2023, they were miserable at 10-1, and that's part of the minute they faced any sort of adversity and they lost to a good team in San Fran. They were like, well, we're done. We're not as good as we thought, and you can't be that way either. So there's got to be some balance you strike. This was a huge win. And the way you completely dominated maybe the second deepest offense on paper in the NFL, that's a huge positive. Yeah, you embarrassed them.
Yeah, so, they ass-kicked them.
Yeah. So
it's really unbelievable because let's take our last time out. It's a blink, but we'll come back and we'll talk about what could be the Achilles heel for this Eagles team going forward this season and into the playoffs unless they can resolve it. And how do they resolve it? Take a quick blink. We're back after this. All right, and that's the blink. What is the biggest Achilles heel? Let's start with defense. Is there an Achilles heel on the defense at this point with Vic Fangio, the way he is scheming? And now that you got these guys fresh up front, the guys in the secondary, all of a sudden their job is, I don't want to say
so
easier.
much easier.
Yeah, but it is.
It kind of is.
You're winning with 4 now. You can drop more guys back in coverage.
We'll call it advantageous.
And seeing Adoree Jackson today against good receivers play well, he's definitely the weak link still in the defense. He's a terrible tackler, but he's been good in coverage 2 weeks in a row.
I don't think there is an Achilles heel in the defense.
I don't think so either.
No,
I think to me it's the health of the offensive line. Because again, Kevin Patullo's not going to get better this year. Maybe a little, he'll have some good games, but he is who he is in my opinion for this season. Jalen Hurts, we know who Jalen is as a quarterback in year 6. This is what you get every year. You're going to get some insanely great games and a lot of games like this too. I think the one thing that could really get this offense more consistent in one area is the offensive line. They got to get Juergens healthy. Can Lane stay on the field? That's the Achilles heel because that's the engine that runs this car of an offense is that offensive line. They are handicapped and playing behind the sticks a lot because of that offensive line.
Did you see in that first series they had Fred Johnson out there as an extra offensive lineman in the first series?
Yeah.
Yep.
I like that.
At one point, the Lions rushed 3 guys, and the Eagles were defending with 6. It was 6 on 3 up front.
Is that right?
I'm like, what are we doing with this?
That is like aligning an offensive lineman up as a tight end. It's great. It's a big boy package.
Yeah, I like the big boy packages.
Yeah, me too. It's trying to bully your opponent a little bit as well. Would you consider putting Lane on the shelf? I don't know if you can, because I don't know if he'll allow it, to get him healthy and just be like, dude, just take a back seat for a couple of weeks. Let's get you fully healthy so you're not playing through it, and then restart you.
What's that record when he doesn't play?
It's bad.
It's
not
really
good.
bad. I don't know if we want to revisit that.
I don't want to ask ChatGPT again because I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
But it may be the best thing to do long term.
It depends on what the injury is, because will being out like a month help with the injury?
An ankle?
It depends.
Yeah.
If it's an ankle.
I thought they said it was a foot tonight.
So, yeah, that might help.
That would help.
You have to do it with Cam Jurgens, though. He is not healthy.
Yeah.
He's been fighting through this back injury since the NFC Championship.
Did you see him walking off the field towards the tunnel? He did not walk very well.
No.
Yeah.
He was hobbling.
Yeah.
Harry, there's nobody that knows about the ankles more than you, and you need to rest the ankle on a knee scooter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You don't heal an ankle by playing.
No,
it's never going to heal.
Especially not at, how old is he now? 36? I mean,
and it's
is he that old?
I think so, yeah.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
2013,
so he's probably right.
Chip's first pick, right?
35, yeah.
35.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Where did that go?
Man.
That is bananas.
And you need him for the playoffs, because if Lane Johnson's not healthy in the playoffs, you're not winning a Super Bowl. You're just not. You might be able to win a playoff game or two, but you're just not doing it.
And how'd you think of that beard tonight when they interviewed him pregame? The beard looked unbelievable.
He's letting it go for sure.
It is really incredible.
He looks like Grizzly Adams. Never met a barber. It's all over the place.
The playoff beard is ready early.
It's unreal.
I mean,
he's like, we got the NFC East wrapped up already at this point. I can grow it out.
That's a jumbo Joe Thornton beard, Harry.
Joe Thornton, yeah. He had one of the best ones, man.
It's just
great
out
hockey
of
beard.
control.
Brett Burns was that was a good one too.
Yeah.
There was a Carolina Hurricane that had a crazy one in the early 2000s too. He was a redhead. I can't remember his name.
It wasn't McDonald.
I'm not sure. Yeah, no, not McDonald.
Lanny
That's a great
McDonald
one too.
had a
He had
good
the
beard.
stash.
Calgary Flames.
He had the DeBella stash, but a redhead.
Right.
Yeah.
Lanny, part of the Hockey Hall of Fame now. Let's get to some of these comments. Chris said, let's bring it up here. A lot of things were bad and shaky from the offense. Everyone should be concerned about it.
Yeah.
And he said a lot of things need to be fixed during Cowboys week. I don't know that you're fixing the things that are wrong with it in season.
Well,
I don't see it like it as an easy fix. Like, let's just do this.
It's kind of like what Louie was saying. They got to figure out a way to get one side of the offense going, whether it's
just
the run
one
game or the pass game.
Yeah. Find one you can depend on.
Yeah.
I know Harry's going to agree with this one. The penalties have been hurting us more than the play calling at this point.
Yeah.
Good grief, they were bad.
Yeah.
But that's still on coaching.
Yeah,
I mean, that's still, coaching. To me, that's on Nick Sirianni. You don't call plays. So what is your job? To make sure those small details are corrected, and they've been sloppy all year.
A lot of false starts, the holding penalties.
Yeah.
Not refined.
Yep.
DVDRM0 says, the offense is unbearable. Patullo has to go. That's the problem. He's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere.
And this guy says, Bandman, another good game from Adoree Jackson. Are there pigs in the sky?
Yes,
when
they are
pigs
flying.
fly?
They are flying.
He's right. He's been good 2 weeks in a row. I thought he was great today. I mean, that rep in the end zone, in the back of the end zone against St. Brown, like he was on his hip pocket he trailed him all the way in the back of the end zone. That was a great rep.
And Brandon Lee says, Lane Johnson and Jurgy, meaning Jurgensen, I didn't know that was his nickname, are beyond hurt right now. I think you got to look at shelving both of them for a couple weeks just to.
Well, the way Lane Johnson looked
game.
walking into the locker room, I don't think he's playing next week.
I would like to bet the odds.
Pretty bad.
I want to see the odds of the Eagles taking an offensive lineman
week.
in the first round next year.
Round?
I would take that bet right now.
Yeah.
And Brandon also said they're so close to breaking Saquon, but the passing game hurts. Is afraid to sling the ball in tight coverage. That's a fact.
Yep, it's true.
That is an absolute fact. Let's see if there's anything else here worth reading. Boff 3160 says, I'm impressed. The Lions have been looking for this game since 2022.
That's true.
The Birds slugged them on D.
That is funny. Aiden Hutchinson said it's like a must-win game for them. And, I mean, St. Brown's been talking about this for a year and a half, it feels like. It reminds me of when the Saints did this in 2018. They kept saying all year, like, oh, if we would have played the Eagles last year in the NFC title, like, we would have won. It's I mean, you didn't get past the Case Keenum-led Vikings.
Right.
And that's kind of what the Lions have been doing. They're like, if it would have been different if they came to Detroit. It's like, you couldn't beat Washington. I don't know. This feels like a weird hill to die on. But
I hate when fan bases do. Oh, if we would have got there, we would have beaten you.
Right.
You didn't.
You did get there. Yeah.
You couldn't beat a worse team. Well, what makes you think you were beating the team that won it all? I mean, that logic is ridiculous.
It's the ultimate fan lament that makes them look so soft because they let their team off the hook by doing that.
They got smacked around today. I mean, the Eagles matched their energy. They were the tougher, more physical team. I mean, Sirianni says that's how he wants them to play all the time. They punched them in the mouth from the start and just dictated terms the whole time.
All right, here's another one. A Philly fan says Tush Push looked horrible tonight. And horrible. And that fourth down call, defense is playing out of their minds. Punt the ball.
Yeah, I agree.
Well,
when he decided to go for it, me and Harry were on here waiting to go on to do the show. And I was like, what is he doing?
You had 4 of your offensive linemen during the week limited in practice. I mean, they're all banged up, even the ones that didn't go out of the game.
And the one that's healthy, by the way, is struggling. I mean, Mailata had another really bad holding call today.
Yep.
He did.
He hasn't been terrible this year, but he definitely has not been the 2024 version of Mailata we're used to.
Let's get to one more. Upstate Patriot says, completely agree. Football should be played outside. Weather was a huge home field advantage tonight, just like the divisional round against the Rams in the playoffs in the snow. No dome.
No dome.
Can we send that to Jeffrey Lurie?
Hashtag no dome.
Hashtag no dome in Philly for sure.
Yeah. Make all those warm city teams come to Philadelphia in January. That's perfect.
Yeah. Or dome. You know, if a dome team comes, they're used to playing in that controlled environment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
playing indoors, by the way, helps the. I mean, Jalen Hurts normally his stats are way better playing inside. So it's not like this team can't play indoors either. So.
He has a hard time throwing it in the wind.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Last one, Jason Comer says, we have a good D. If we can at least score 20 each game, we win. Is that the path? Hold them below 20, but can you score 20?
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row, they haven't.
Yeah.
No, but
it's just crazy because they were so good on offense against the Vikings and the Giants. Like, the vibes were so high heading into the bye week. We're like, I think they might have figured this out. They turned the corner, and then it's all the same issues from the first month. Or
the Giants were pretty banged up in that game.
Yeah, maybe it's just like the opponents you played, I guess.
Yeah.
6 of their 8 wins, they scored more than 20 points. 24-20, 33-31, 28-38.
Yeah.
So maybe
what's the average, do you think, that they're giving up each week on defense?
Points-wise?
Yeah.
The most they've given up is 26 against the Rams.
The Rams.
Yeah, and they give up 25 to Tampa, 17 to KC, 20 to Dallas, 21 and 34 Denver and the Giants.
And those were losses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
22 to Minnesota, 20 to the Giants in the second one, then 7 and 9, 16 points in the last 2 games.
The last 2 weeks have been unbelievable.
Yeah, it's really remarkable to be able to shut those two teams down, with those games meaning so much too.
Right.
Yeah, and that's since Jalen Phillips has gotten here.
And by the way, they're still the youngest defense in football too. That's the most unbelievable part.
Unbelievable. Yeah. What did we say? We talked about that during the summer. The average age is like 25 or something on their defense.
It was interesting. I was listening to Howie Roseman on a podcast this week. So that 2022 Super Bowl defense, there's not a single starter left from that unit.
No way.
He rebuilt. Yeah, Slay was the last one, and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson from last year. He rebuilt the defense completely in like 2 years. Back up to the number one defense in football.
He's not a starter, so.
Right. So BG's the one remaining. But he has rebuilt this defense in like 2 years back into the best defense in football. And it's not a single guy from that really great unit. He's the best rebuilder in the history of the NFL. You can make the argument of who's the best GM of all time. The best rebuilder. This defense is proof it's Howie Roseman. It's unbelievable.
But he doesn't have to lose to rebuild. That's the thing that's impressive.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Which is more difficult to rebuild when you're not bottoming out.
Yeah, it's more like a retool on the fly, and he's been great at it. I mean, to get Quignon and
Cooper
DeJean in that draft
and Jalix Hunt in the third round. He dominated today.
Yeah.
I mean, that draft is unbelievable. You got Moro Ijoma in the 7th round the year before. I mean,
out of Texas, right?
Yeah, he's going to get probably $30 million. I don't know if they're going to, hopefully they pay him, but he might price himself out of Philly too.
Louis, what do you got coming up on Locked On Eagles this week?
We're going to dive more into the defense. I'm going to try to solve this offense, figure out what the fix is. I think intermediate passing is going to be the theme. Like, if they're going to figure something out, easy yards with the offensive line banged up, I think intermediate passing. So we'll dive into all that this week, stock up, stock down, and I got the squad shows too. So lots coming up.
Yeah, lots coming up as the Eagles. It's Cowboy Week. Where's Cowboy Game?
Going to Jerry World.
Well, start your day with Locked On Eagles, and we thank our listeners for making the Locked On Network your first listen. And make sure you listen to Louis every day this week. He's got you totally covered on all things Eagles. Great job, boys. We'll be at the squad show midweek, and we'll get ready for the Dallas Cowboys next weekend. Have a great night, everybody.